Hey everyone, this is your host Red and my partner Lori, and this is the Material Handling Webcast. How are you, Lori?
Hi, Red. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm doing good, and I'm excited about our next guest. We're going to be bringing on Julie Clarke-Bush from HighViz Marketing. And really, Julie and I go back a few years. Meeting in this land of material handling marketing. So Julie, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about HighViz, and then your intro to material handling.
Yeah, sure. Well, you said my name, I'm Julie Clarke-Bush. I own a digital marketing agency, and I focus really on helping forklift dealerships. That could also, other material handling companies could flow into that. I say that I'm helping forklift dealerships with the heavy load of marketing. That's my new tagline. This is the very first time I put that out into the public. So
very good.
Breaking news,
here at this podcast. So, just to be more, give us a little bit more background of HighViz, just because marketing is a really broad topic, right? And I've heard that you're more focused on content. Is that what kind of services do you do mostly for the forklift industry or material handling industry?
Yeah, most of my clients are on retainer with me, and I kind of serve as just like a satellite marketing office. And different clients are different relationships, and sometimes I'm working with a marketing manager like you. Sometimes I'm just working with the owner. Usually the marketing plan, and I do have like a 9-step plan that that is kind of like the hub of all the things that we do, but it really centers around creating content and using that as part of a digital marketing strategy, and using your website to generate leads. And that's really a benefit of the content. So
okay, yeah. So you're like a marketing department, but you're not within that company. So you can literally do all of what a marketing department would do. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's a full agency, not just content. I was thinking just content. So it's good to know that. I think Lori also had a question, like, how did you get into this business of material handling? Well, did you start right away at this business, or what's your journey?
Well, I started in the scuba diving industry, as most people do, right? No. So HighViz Marketing is a nod to like good visibility. So I used to work a couple of different magazines that targeted scuba divers. I used to own a dive shop. I taught scuba. And then I left the dive shop, went up into the industry, kind of like I worked for the Toyota of our universe. Right. And then I was selling ads in magazines, designing ads in magazines, helping the scuba diving businesses with promotion. And this was, back in, 7 years ago. And I could see that these print ads that I was selling were not giving a return on investment to my clients. And I had a big internal conflict with that. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't think I can't do this. And so I told my boss, I was like, we need to switch to doing digital marketing. We need to do inbound marketing. I was doing all my research online. You come across, I know you guys have done that. You come across the HubSpot articles and like how to write a blog. And that's how I started. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And my boss was like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, okay, bye. And that's how I started HighViz. And I was doing freelance stuff on, it's Upwork now. It used to be called Elance. Yep. And that's where I met my first client. I don't know if you want me to mention names, but in Northern California, the forklift dealership out there, and he just needed a flyer, and he had HubSpot, and that's how it all started. And then I just wormed my way in there. I was like, you don't have any landing pages set up right. You're not doing any content. I can help you with this. And then once you get into this universe, it's just like this amoeba. And so the head sales guy there went to another dealership, and he's like, oh, I want to do what I was doing. The marketing needs to be the same as what in my old place of employment. And so he hired me over there. And then, and then I met you, Lori, doing all the forklift dealership marketing manager meetings.
Right.
Yeah.
So I cannot believe that we've never gotten to this part before. That's such an interesting background. And the other thing that's crazy is that it was only 5 to 7 years ago that especially this industry and other industries were very focused on print advertising. We had not yet turned the curve with everybody else to do digital. And so, yeah, when I met you, Julie, we were already there in the digital land, and that's where the conversation was. And you've just always blended right in with us. I don't think anybody knew that you weren't actually at one of the dealerships, which was the beauty of it all. And so always appreciated the share of information, which is what today will really be about, is you sharing some of your knowledge about landing pages and making sure that people understand what they are and why you need dedicated landing pages.
Yeah. And so that's our topic for today, dedicated website landing pages.
Yeah.
But before you start talking about that, Julie,
Yes.
now the whole industry knows that you were an ex-scuba diver. But yeah, talk to us about dedicated website landing pages, why it's important, why do you think it is the way to do marketing these days? So
Okay. So first off, what is a landing page? It's a page on your website that has a form on it. And that's the definition I use. It's a place where a website visitor can go from being anonymous and unknown. They fill out the form. Now they've walked through the door and they're in your ecosystem. So that's, one reason why they're so important. And you can really use them to leverage your digital marketing. And that's kind of what I wanted to go over. So when we're talking about this, I've got a few assumptions. The first one is that you are doing, your website is built to generate traffic, and you're using your website for lead generation. Mm-hmm. And so you want to attract visitors, and then you want to convert those visitors over into leads. We get leads from the manufacturers. We buy them, and they're really expensive. But this is, when your company can use your website to do that job, it's a lot more cost effective.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So. And then the other assumption is that you're creating regular content. I know you guys have talked about that before on the show, but that is important. Like a weekly blog post that you're doing, or a podcast, or webinars. I love Red's webinars that he's done. Doing that on a regular basis. I say this is kind of like the heavy lift of marketing, and it is hard to get started with this. So don't feel bad if you struggle with it. But do know that it is like a flywheel, and it's heavy at first, and it's hard, and it takes a lot of work to get it going. But then once it starts spinning, it really pays off, and it gets easier. It starts working for you.
Question on that one. So most websites now have like tabs at the top, and like say for example for us, you have your used equipment, rentals, parts, service, and when you click that, you go to a landing page. So landing pages these days are common, but I would like to kind of relate that to when you said regular content. When you say you're creating regular content, are you talking about regular changing up the landing pages all the time? Is that what you mean? Or this regular content is just to bring traffic into those landing pages?
Yeah, it is a way to bring traffic in, and it's a way to write about and let the universe know what it is that you do. Uh-huh. And so a blog post, you can dedicate one blog post to one topic. Yep. And then at the end of that blog post, you want to convert them over, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have a CTA there that sends them to a landing page. Okay. And if you're just starting out, you might just have one generic landing page that you send everybody to.
Or will this be the contact us? Is this the contact us page then?
It could be a contact us page, right?
Okay.
But if you are doing, and then if you're doing a blog post about service, then you have a call to action about service that goes to a service landing page. And so it keeps them the same, and they will convert more, or the likelihood that they convert on, if it's all kind of in that same topic, is much higher.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and so we're always thinking about the buyer's journey. And it's those 3 steps. It's awareness, consideration, and decision. Awareness is when they're kind of expressing their symptoms, like we are lucky in the material handling industry is people don't Google, how do I move this heavy pallet? Right? There's not, like, they know. They don't have to guess, like, how am I going to fix this warehouse thing? So really the awareness content we don't do much of. It's that consideration where they're thinking about what to buy, or they're going to Google and they're asking questions. Like, so maybe, for example, somebody types in, can you lease a used forklift? That's a legit question, right? It kind of doesn't seem like you could do that. So you wanted to Google that and find out. That's that they're shopping for a used forklift when they do that. Yeah. So at the bottom of that blog post, click here to learn more. Go to the dedicated landing page about used equipment, and then you've got them. And so the landing page is the 3rd step of the buyer journey. It's the decision phase. So we capture them as they're shopping, and then they decide they want to walk through the door. Then they go to the landing page.
That's really good, because I've only tossed up forms. I don't know that I've ever thought about a landing page being this more robust way to get a form filled out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then it does kind of make you think, like, all right, well, what's the impression that somebody has, even though I've told them exactly, like, click here for this, right? I've been very specific, but then the form pops up and it's pretty boring. And how much more exciting and interesting would it be for them to be directed to a page with a little bit more information and the form? I've never really thought about it in that way.
Sorry, I was going to ask you, Julie, too. So we do have the landing page, but one of the questions that you can add to answer Lori's question is, on my end, is like, there is a landing page, but where I can get like a tip from you is like a converting landing page. What does a converting landing page need? In terms of picture layout, or do you have anything for that? So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, a content upgrade, like an ebook or a checklist, that is something, if they've logged on, they're reading about buying a used forklift in your blog post, and then they see, oh, here's a used forklift buying guide. I might need that. That's on it. That is also considered something on a dedicated landing page. And so you have your upgrade, your content upgrade. It's valuable to them, so valuable that they're willing to give you their email address.
That's a great suggestion.
So those are the best. Yeah, those are the best conversions. The best ways to convert. And so that means, and so when you have the landing page that's mirrored to your topic, you're converting. And I wanted to show this, my visual I have of the content map.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the buyer's journey. So this is my list of forklift dealership content map. It's a list of every topic I could think of that you could write about. And so it goes from, aerial to electric forklifts, all the way down to warehouse, pallet racking, automation. And so you can see that I write a lot, we write a lot about safety, we write a lot about forklifts. Those are the long ones. Right. I recently realized that industrial cleaning service, like cleaning the floor scrubbing machines.
Yeah, big deal.
Is in servicing them. I've never done any blog posts on that. And I don't have a landing page on it. And therefore they're unhappy. They're not, why aren't we getting any leads for this, Julie? Sure. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then I'm like, oh yeah, because I haven't done the work to get there. So you can see that, the big topics that are really important to your boss and the growth of your dealership, or have a landing page. Down at the bottom, you can see the ones that the check marks have a landing page. So minimum, you want to have that landing page. The next best thing is you have an ebook offer to match it. So you have, And so, what are you going to do about forklift parts? An ebook? I don't know, but you could have a forklift part landing page for that. And so then all your content you're making, this is blog posts for your consideration phase. You're pushing them towards the next conversion. You've got to get them to convert over and get into your ecosystem. And so that's what the landing pages do. And then I've got like 4 other big benefits that come out of that afterwards. And so this is something else for you, Lori. You're talking about, you never thought about this, making it just for one thing. Right. You're able to SEO optimize it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Google will know.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I've always thought about the landing page in the sense of what is its connection if I'm doing a Google ad, right? And that if somebody clicks on the ad, then I want it to go to a dedicated landing page that's very relevant to that. And my brain has always clicked with that, but never from just a submission form and enhancing that experience in that way. And even to hear that ebooks are still relevant, ebooks aren't new. They've been around for a little while. We used to see them a lot. And so for me, there's always the question mark of, if I take the time to do this, is it even relevant anymore? And it's difficult for me anyway. Can we find statistics on ebooks and conversion rates? Yes. But can we find statistics on ebook conversion rates in the material handling world? Nope, absolutely not. Like, this is one of those industries that isn't well tracked, and we're always using trial and error and our best guesstimate to decide how to best spend our time. So it's tough.
Yeah. And I call those ebooks, but it could be anything. It could be, we do like a loading dock safety assessment.
Yeah.
I don't have, the marketing department doesn't have to do anything but make the page for that. We send them, and then, hopefully they have some sort of formal, this is a safety assessment for your loading dock. That's pretty valuable, I think.
Yeah,
pretty
it's really
easy
good
to do.
So do you guys offer designing it, or you just give like points on what to do to your customers? Julie?
Yeah, we usually do the whole thing.
Okay.
And that's, it's something, forklift, what your boss is like. They're like, hey, shiny object, here's the thing we need to promote and sell. And I'm like, you got to hold your horses there. We've got to create a landing page for it first.
Yep.
After a while, they start to learn. And so you've got that landing page. You want to send out an email about this special you have. It goes to that landing page. So it has a home base for that to go to. And then the other thing, so let's say you have a pallet racking landing page. Someone fills it out. Now that contact is tagged as a pallet racking customer or lead in your CRM.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that lets you, then you start segmenting your email list. And you guys know a segmented email is going to perform way better than just your generic blast.
Right.
So over time, you get a whole list of pallet rack people. Then you have a pallet rack special or an offer or something. You can target it just to them.
No, that's great. And you can do nurture marketing on those if they're interested in particular piece of information. You can send them more emails. Just a quick question on landing pages. What do you think about a multi-step form? So we did this one for rentals. And what we did is the form goes to different, we ask first, what do you need this for? We need this for this. Then take it to another page. How long? It's just a multi-step form. And the reason why we started to try that is we feel that if you're someone that's filling out information, invested so much time already filling out these forms that I need to finish this because I put so much information. Just your thoughts on multi-step form for a landing page.
I haven't done that for any of my material handling clients, but
Okay.
I just brainstorming yesterday. We were talking about doing a quiz, and that's the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of follow the line of thought that if your goal is to get the lead and get the conversion, then you make the form as little as info on there as, remove the hurdles they have to jump over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to get their zip code. That's, so we know which rep to send it to. And that, if we could take that out, sometimes if we're like, yeah, we really need some leads, forget the zip code. We'll find it out. We got an internal person that can ask them. But there is that other side of the coin where they invest in it and they get through and
yeah, you see these in Facebook ads where they ask multiple questions in different forms, and then you go to the fifth question. It's like, should I continue this or just drop this? But I put 5 forms already. Might as well finish it, right? But then you tend to give more and more and more and more information.
Yeah. Sometimes though I stop. Sometimes I excel.
Yeah, it's too much, right?
Mm-hmm. The other piece to that, especially for us, is that if we're asking and somebody is sending information, then the follow-up call, it better be really good, right? You better be using that information and not asking for the same details over and over. And so, I've always erred on the side of simplicity, but part of that is because I think I don't want somebody to just repeat themselves. I would rather, if they're willing to then talk to us after getting that inquiry form, that we'll get all the good stuff there and have a real conversation with people. But that is really interesting because it could work in a different industry, maybe not so much for material handling. So I want to go back a little bit to Julie's point about content and those quick requests that marketing gets, especially for let's promote this, because I think that this is a never-ending rub of tension there, where marketing appears very rigid, almost like that we don't like change and that we can't be change agile. And the fact is that it takes time to develop content, to write a blog, to make a video, like all these things that we do. It does take time, and it can make it difficult to be very spontaneous. So it just, I think, confirms the need that content always has to be part of the plan. You always have to be working on it so that when somebody says, we want to advertise for this, well, you already have 2 or 3 things that are out there that you can now touch and put together.
Yeah. And so now you guys are making all these landing pages, you start getting better at it.
Yes.
And you'll start getting faster.
Yeah.
And it's a repetition, and you'll start getting better at it. And then the last point I wanted to make too is the analytics. And looking at and seeing what works well and what is the total turkey and needs to be thrown out the door. Like, you've got all these pages to look at and to compare. And that is a great way to build confidence as well. Because you start to know, you're like, nope, we're not doing that because it doesn't work. Because I have the data, you remember you saw that. So, so, and then optimizing and improving. And when you can make a little tweak on a landing page and improve the conversion by, 5%, that's huge. That's a huge amount of increase in leads. And
what I don't like is, sorry, Julie.
Yeah, I'll just keep going. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just to what Lori was saying, what I don't like are monthly promos. Because by the time you set it, monthly promos, just 1 month period. Because by the time you set it up and get things going, all these things that we do to set it up, the month's done. Right?
That's true.
Sales is going to say, okay, this is a parts sale for 1 month. I don't like that because by the time you get all things set up, the month is done. So just the landing page and I think it's too short. So just a comment. I'm sorry for cutting you, Julie. I do that all the time.
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, I do not want, if we know in advance, like April, we're going to do this thing, then by the end of May, it's good to go. And because you've been working on it 2 months previously, that'll work. But yeah, then it does seem a shame to take it down after a month. So,
yeah.
So what is your thought? It's one thing if somebody fills out a submission form and says, I'm looking for this, get in contact with me. What about the download of something like the ebook? Do you have any recommendations of when and how you might follow up with something or someone that's downloaded that?
Yeah, that's, well, so there's a lot of different paths you can go. I mean, they click the button, they download it on a thank you page. Or you could keep them. You could make them go to their inbox to get it, right, which is a little trick because then their inbox will say, "Hey, this is a good," because they're going to open that email, right? And so it trains their inbox to know that you are a good email sender. And so the next email will not go to spam. It'll rise up. So
good. That's such a good tip.
You don't think about that. Like it's such a lame, like such the most boring email that you could do. Thank you for downloading this ebook. You know, but it is one of the most opened emails that you're going to send because somebody, they want it.
It's really good.
But then there is a nurturing series that you could do after that. And there is a framework. I don't know if I'll remember it off the top of my head, but it's, you wait 3 days and you need to time this with your sales team. A lot of times, if this is just your first getting to know each other, this is the beginning of your relationship, you can let marketing take a role and use the email nurturing. And now you know what it is that they're trying to do because of what they downloaded. And so you can speak to that and you can say, you downloaded that ebook. And so that tells me that you're probably having problems with this. And we know what it's like. And here's a customer testimonial where someone just like you had that same problem. They bought our thing and now they don't have that problem. So that's, and then the next email could be where you overcome an objection. And like you're probably thinking, electric forklifts don't have enough power, right? Well, let me tell you this, it's not your father's forklift anymore. I'm like immersed in like electric forklift promotion right now. So it's like all in my brain. So you overcome an objection. You talk about that. And then, so that could be the topic of one email. Then the next email, I don't know, you just kind of keep doing that kind of same thing, like speaking to their problems. And then eventually you can be like, okay, it's time. You hit them with I call it the jab, 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 right hook. That's a Gary Vaynerchuk book where you give. And then I've given you enough content. Now I'm asking for the sale.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, go ahead, Red.
Sorry. Do you use like those sites called ClickFunnels, or do you work on the customer's website? How do you implement these dedicated website landing pages for your customers?
So one of the things with my customers is we're all kind of like committed to a marketing technology stack, a tech stack. Right. And I mean, so I'm going to be totally biased. HubSpot is my tool of choice. It does the email marketing, the blogs, the reporting. It's got a CRM. It just has all the things that make it easy. But I mean, ClickFunnels is a version of what ClickFunnels does is inside of HubSpot too. And so you can do things like ClickFunnels and piece it all together. But you've got to have the technology and invest in that to do digital marketing.
So when you make landing pages for your customers, you guys are hosting those pages. They're not in the customer's.
No, it's in their HubSpot portal, where their blog and their website live inside of their HubSpot.
So how about
and it's on
if
their
you have
website.
How about if you have a customer that is working off of a WordPress website? How are they going to work with you?
They get HubSpot. Yeah.
Oh, they have to get HubSpot. They have to get
And,
HubSpot.
yeah.
Part of
Yeah.
it,
And so you
That's a
can
condition, eh?
integrate. Yeah, you can integrate your HubSpot forms and blog and landing pages into WordPress. But once you start using HubSpot, it's just so easy. I convert you over. Yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up, but you brought it up. So it's really like, I love HubSpot. I will, yeah.
I was just wondering how you service your customer, how you provide these dedicated website landing pages. So
Yeah, they buy the HubSpot and then we go in there and work inside of it. So, yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to explain that.
I get it. Yeah.
The other good point is that a lot of people think, well, yeah, I already have a page for that. I have a service page, I have a parts page, right? Well, yeah, we have main pages within the navigation. And if you click on those main pages, we're likely talking to you about several different things. Battery maintenance, dock and door maintenance, forklift maintenance, all these things. And so what we think that we're doing is we already have a page, and what we're doing is sending the customer to really be confused. And so I think an important point is that you have to build more pages, and you don't necessarily have to see them on your navigation. It's very specific reasons why people have gotten there. It's not going to clutter up the navigation. But from a customer experience aspect, they're very, very important to have and worth the work.
Yeah, it's great. There's, like I said, there's so many benefits. You get the SEO juice from it.
You do.
And you segment your list, and you get to analyze that data and tweak it, and you repeat it over and over again, and you get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I love this topic, and I was excited when you guys asked me for coming on. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well, we see you put out a lot of good questions, and we know how hard that you work to make sure that even your clients are getting it. But to me, Julie, you're just a learner, so it's exciting to talk with you about it because we just kind of get to go back and forth and talk about things in general.
Mm-hmm. And these things are sometimes you just oversee. Like we redid our sites about 4 years ago. There are landing pages, but now that we've got Speak, now it's like things are like on my head, like, oh, I need to be changing things. It's just to refresh, right? Because all of us, for the people that are watching, I'm sure after listening to this, there's some room for improvement on your landing pages. So this is a great topic. So thanks for that, Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Julie, if people were wanting to get in touch with you after this and find you, where would they go?
You can go to my website at HighVizMarketing.com, or you can send me an email there. That's my email.
Okay.
Julie at HighVizMarketing.com.
Great. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, highly encourage it, especially from a content marketing perspective, and really somebody that's just taken a deeper dive into our world, because I think that that's another thing that's unique and very difficult to find. And once you get into the world of material handling, somehow we never find our way back out.
Yes.
Yes.
We're lost
Team
inside.
material handling. Yeah. The amoeba has sucked us in. You may branch out, but eventually you'll come back. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Julie. I'm sure we will have you again as a guest because there's so many things to talk about digital marketing. But
That'd be
for
great.
now, thank you everyone for being with us. We will see you on the next show.
Bye.